Well, how are you doing? This is a me news show. I'm going to try and do as many shows of these as possible. The MACKEM review show. Just going over any of the comments that the fans have been giving me and feedback and stuff. Going through them, what people have been saying, and let everybody's take on what they think of it. If people are being daft, if they disagree, this and that and the other. So I might as well do, because like there's not much news happening at the last few days, but there's always plenty of feedback and there's always plenty of comments to go through from the fans and stuff. So welcome to the MACKEM review, and I hope you've all had a good day. Right, so let's let a few people join. We've got 7 people. How are you doing? Hope you can hear us all right. Stuff. Oh, I'll be on for an hour tonight. See what the crack is. Right, we're going to go through some bits and bobs, some news. Let's have a look at this then. Hey, it's been a busy day, busy day. So then, as I'm reading some of the stuff here, according to Captain Fish Paste, well, the good news is that Sunderland are making a lot of moves for strikers. The bad news is that at the moment they don't seem to be making them particularly well. So what's all that about then? It's so muggy. So Ah, wait a minute. Does that help? Dear. Hope you can hear me now. Crikey. That's what you call 11 hours. Cheers to Bristolian Mackem for keeping us updated there. Neither wonder you can't hear us. Right, hopefully you can hear me now. Yeah, that should be better. There we go. The simplest little things. You see, this is what happens when you've been driving for 11 hours in the taxi non-stop. Oh, dear. The simplest things. So I'm doing my show and nobody can even hear us. What am I like, man? Well, I'll go through it again. Might as well do. I'm glad you're all good, Bristolian. So, yeah, well, the good news is that Sunderland are making a lot of moves for strikers. The bad news is that at the moment they don't seem to be making them particularly well. This is the new podcast I'm doing. I'll try and do as many as I can through the week, an hour long, just going through fans' feedbacks, what the fans are saying about whatever's going on at the club at the moment. Basically getting more of the fans involved, their feedback and stuff, just get a general vibe of what's been going on. There's a lot of negativity still going around with the fans. They're still not 100% sure that they're going to pull out the stops and get strikers in, because it's strikers we need. And according to Sunderland FC News and Banter page, Sunderland have had a bid rejected for Cairns top marksman Alex Mendy, according to reports in France. So, and some of the feedback is, I love the way we do business at the moment, paying the least amount possible. Sure, a bid was rejected, but our offer was way more than that the clubs, whoever clubs have offered. So we go back with a higher bid, no issues. It's not like Footy Manager where you only get 3 chances to put a bid in. Jonathan Lee has said, we need someone in before the season starts. If he is the right player, let's get back in for him and get it over the line. Because let's face it, it's getting nearer and nearer the season, isn't it? We need to get things done. Richard says, all these people saying just pay. That's how we got into this situation in the first place. Mickey Girdwood says, for anyone worried about his quality, have a look at the video reel of his goals last season. He's a big, powerful striker and a lethal finisher by the looks of it. Get the money paid, Sunderland. We still seem to be having that sticky situation, don't we, where it doesn't matter who we seem to be going for, we just seem to constantly fail to bring in these players. Gavin McGill says, obviously people don't understand how transfer dealings happen. Clubs don't just pay the asking price. They'll put in a low bid to test the water, then go back with a higher offer. Welcome to the 9 people watching. Hope you're okay. Neil Harbiner says, although saying we are cheap would see us throw money away and then complain when they realise he is a 300k player. Never made it in League 1 and League 2 is shite, basically. If anybody's joining us, this is about, we've had a bid rejected for Alexander Mendy, who I put it on my page a few days ago. Smitty says, don't know much about him, but looks strong in his videos. Score with both feet and heed. Can take a penalty. Defending looked crappy, but he's not exactly going against world beaters every game in the championship, is he? Make of it what you will. Tom Little says, is this we tried, but I just couldn't get it over the line. Christian Speakman. There's a few saying about Speakman. I'm not like sort of doubting, but there's still one stumbling block. Robert says one stumbling block, Mr. Speakman. So they're still saying Mr. Speakman is still the problem. Billy says the amount of people with no idea how negotiation works. Bobs also says that's the problem with Speakman, that he's learned his football by PS2. He still thinks that's how football works. So there's a lot of still negativity about that. Some more news. Burnley manager Scott Parker is taking a closer look at Bristol City, Sunderland and Birmingham City target Scott Twine, according to Sky Sports. 215k per week stars among Sunderland's highest players. Is one other. And we've got lots of news about our signing Alan Brown, as he outlines Sunderland's debut plan and explains where he'll fit into the team long term. Of course, Brown adds welcome depth to Sunderland's midfield options, and although he played a variety of different roles for Preston, both he and the club are clear that it's in the heart of the midfielder where he will play the bulk of the football for the Black Cats. While he likes to get forward and break into the box, he also says he enjoys the challenge of playing holding midfield, and that will be useful skill for new head coach Regis Lebris. Even if the team often plays primarily with two number 8s, a role which Brown will generally play, that versatility can play in your favour, and the other times it can play against you a little bit, Brown said. My preferred position is probably in midfield, and as an 8, though I do like playing holding midfield, and as a 10 as well, I can do a job pretty much everywhere. I think I've played pretty much everywhere apart from goalkeeping at Preston. He also says, I am fine with that. Obviously, you don't want to be outside your preferred position for too long. And there's a nice little picture there. He looks quite happy. So Michael Pickman says, Sunderland drawn away to Preston in the Carabao Cup. Early return for Brown, which it is. He'll be playing his old team. Stephen says, you'll be playing striker. The way our recruitment is going so far, so still there's a lot of concern about recruitment. We will probably play him left back, says Gary Scott. Graham SAFC Ab says Job would be away. 2 new keepers, so Patty be away. Any more? I mean, are the fans being a little bit too negative? I don't know. We'll soon see. But he's looking to get his debut against, and when we play Nottingham Forest tomorrow, should I say. And some other news as well. Jason Sealt's progress from a serious knee injury is on track. But the Sunderland defender has accepted he will not be able to make a return to action until much later in the year. So that's Jason Sealt's on his injury. Effin Island Hughes says, if it's anything like my injury, maybe longer, says good luck. Slow and steady, but I'm sure this kid will come back stronger. Paul Purvis says, any news on Huggins? No, I've not heard anything on Huggins. He's a cracking player, and he'd be great to get him back into the squad. Could be good. Didn't get much of a chance, which we were plagued a lot with injuries, of course. And we'll just have a look, because I will be streaming the match tomorrow. I'll be doing like the commentary. I'll be doing the audio commentary, and let's have a look at the time that we are kicking off. I'm presuming I'm going to do it, and I'm not actually working. So our fixtures, here we are, 8 o'clock, and there we go. And we're playing Nottingham Forest, and Sunderland's last few results is lost, won, lost. Nottingham Forest is lost, won, won. So yeah, How are you doing, Janet? How are you doing, Davey? Yeah, I've just thought I'd just jump on and just do a bit of a podcast and what the fans' reactions are so far. And I didn't want to bother you, Dave. I didn't want to be a pain in the backside because you do the Monday show. You might have dogs to walk. You might have anything you want to do. But feel free if you want to message us and you want to join on. You're more than welcome, mate. You're more than welcome. You know you are. I just didn't want to be a pain in the butt by pestering you because I don't know what you've got planned. So yeah, just going through basically feedback, what the fans have been saying, and there's a lot of fans concerning basically about we're still not cutting it in the signing department. I mean, are we panicking a little bit too much? I don't know. I think they're still a little bit paranoid with that we've not made enough strikers and that it's just going to carry on where we've left off. How Dougie Stewart, nice to see you, Cabby. Hope the cat as well. Alright, Dougie. Yeah, the cat's absolutely fine, mate. Hope you've had a canny day today. So, just cropped up there. Last year I started... it's about Matty Young. Christian Speakman says, we are really pleased with Matty's progress and we feel that further exposure to men's football is the perfect environment for him to continue his development. Although he's only 17, he can demonstrate last season that he can rise to the challenge. Yes, Dave, you made 6 p.m. the kickoff. I'll be, like I say, I will be doing a audio stream for that. Yeah, Matty Young has joined Salford City on loan for the 2024-25 campaign. And that's just come up there on safc.com. So we'll take a look if this is what's been going on. I can talk to you better sometimes when I'm here as well. Yeah, so Sunderland AFC goalkeeper Matty Young has joined Salford City on loan. The 17-year-old departs the Academy of Light to spend the duration of the 2024-25 season at Moor Lane. So he's away there on loan. If it's going to get him experience, I suppose it'll get him experience. Right, so we're going to go back to me videos and read back a lot of the comments. There's been quite a few comments on me channel. And I've been that busy in my taxi as well. Yeah, Dougie Stewart. Dougie Stewart says, will it be good for Matty Young going out on loan again? Yeah, it's not going to do him any harm at all, is it, to be quite frank with you? So let's go through some Sunderland comments here, some of the fans. Yeah, so I put a post up basically saying Alan Brown signs for Sunderland, and I'm going to read some of the comments here. The Yorkshire MACKEM says, great signing. It does seem like KLD and Speakman have learnt their lessons from last season by signing more experienced players. Well, I suppose it's a start, isn't it? Steve M68 says, great signing. His injury record is mint. Over 35 games played in each of the last 7 seasons. International captain and player of the year. Fantastic experience to help the Bairns in the squad. Let's just hope he stays injury free when he comes for Sunderland. D Hall, a regular on the channel, says ideal signing. Alan Brown's SCFC interview. He said he spoke to Alex Neil, who spoke highly of Sunderland. Jamie says good signing. I think we really need to focus on a proven goal scorer now, and that still keeps getting brought up about a proven goal scorer. Good friend Thane, he says, fantastic signing on a 3-year deal, which is really good because even said myself at the age of 29, he'll have another 3 or 4 years left in him. He'll bring a lot of experience and leadership, which we have lacked. And you know me, I do love experience, so very happy with this one. Unless we get someone older like a Norwood, for example, I say just give the captain's armband to Brown. Hopefully a few more experience signings here and there and big money to be spent on a quality striker. And I still think we could do with another centre-back, preferably someone on the same level as Ballard to be in his new partner. If we address all that, then we could be in for a very good season. Davey, how are you doing? He says, news report tonight, Regis Lebris is demanding a striker ASAP from Speakman. He must not like the look of current players. Now, you know, this seems to be around the vicious circle again, doesn't it? It's like, I hope we're not going to go through this again, where the manager comes in, the manager susses out that the squad at the moment needs a lot of work done to it, and Speakman turns around and says, no, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that. That's just going to cause unrest, isn't it? It's like Speakman has got to take a back foot and he's got to listen to what the coach or the manager is wanting. And if Regis Lebris is saying, I'm not happy with this, I'm not happy with that, I can only do this with that much, then Speakman must back off. He has to, and let Regis Lebris do what he needs to do. Because other than that, there's no point in getting a manager or a coach in, is there? So anyway, back to the news on Brown signing. This is just feedback from the Sunderland supporters and the fans and subscribers to my channel. Saul Smitherman says, top signing for the club. Preston are gutted he's leaving. Great news, says Just Ray. But let's hope he's not the last signing, as we need more experienced players like him now to complement our young squad. Norman says, very good. User says, great signing, 400 appearances in the Championship. Looks like Speakman has been listening to us on Total Sport. I reckon that's a comment from Davey. 09 Sky Blues is a friend of the channel, a Coventry fan. A decent player. I'd have took him at Coventry, and that's from a Coventry City fan. Jeff Wilkie says, I've never heard of him before. Hernet the Hunter says, what's this? Good news? Never. I must be dreaming. So a lot of positive comments coming from the signing of Brown. And on my other post as well, I did. Some comments here. Tony Huntington, hello mate, how you doing? Hi, if they give the captain armband to Brown, I think they will. Does that mean 09's time is limited? I don't know, you know. I mean, is it a good idea to give him an armband? Or is it just because of the fact, like, he's the oldest player in there, he's got the most experience, he's got to have the armband, he's got to have the captaincy, you know? Maybe that's what you could mean, because, I mean, we've got an experienced head on his shoulders. Why not give him the captain's armband? Dougie Stewart says, not keen on Speakman, but it's like gold dust getting in a decent striker, and we've been lacking it, haven't we, for such a long time, it seems. Davey says, the big plus of Brownie is he plays every week and misses very few games. And I just hope it's not the Sunderland curse where it's injury bloody plague ridden when he comes here, you know. So, in one of my other posts, a lot of people were saying to me that the pink seats are returned at the stadium light, and I says, I might as well do a post about it. Rooster Corbin says, can it be the sun? I've not seen it this year, haven't we all? Alan Dixon says, we need a roof on the stadium so as when the season is over, we could close the roof so the sun won't bleach the streets. Ash Schultz says, put them all sky blue after the best team in the division, Coventry City. I don't think we'll go down well, to be honest with you. Yorkshire MACKEM, I think they have been working on it while sorting out the multi-million investment with the stadium light. My mate in Necronix, Andy, says, I always thought you loved pink. I'm not really a fan of it, to be honest with you. Tony Huntington says on the comment, he says, how about brown? Seat to help cover the stains of a nervous crowd. More like bored out the school, really, compared to what they have been in the last few seasons. I think Davey says, Cabbie, are you saying the red seats are more important than a 20-goal number 9? Get an effing striker in, he says. And we are SAFC says, scraping the barrel for a negative here. So he's entitled to his comment there. Absolutely. Every comment is welcome indeed. Dougie Stewart says, would like Ballard as captain, to be honest. A lot of fans like Ballard, don't they? He's a very popular player. I hope we do keep hold of him. Keith Ashcroft, hello mate, welcome to today's podcast. How are you doing? Pleased with the signs up to now. Just need an experienced striker. Great vlogs. Thanks, Keith. Thanks very much for your support. I've not done any through the day today because I've been so busy in my taxi. And this is just basically getting involved with the Sun and fans and the subscribers of the channel, and just letting them have their say and giving their feedback. So this was to the last one of the matches, Sun and nil South Shields nil Sunderland 5. Thane says, I know it's only South Shields, but from our own point of view, I was very impressed with our performance, particularly in the first half, right from the off. The pressing from us was absolutely spot on, and it was, because I watched it. We really were pretty damn good on that one. And I was very impressed with that trialist Nokia in goal. Thought he did well, and was also impressed with Anderson and Mienda. There were some others that did well, but for me, them 3 were the main standouts. He says, usually we make hard work of these games like last season. We only just won 3, which we did against South Shields, of course. So to destroy them like we did and show our quality was pleasing to see. Hopefully, we will see a similar performance and a result against Gateshead. I'll come to that later. Helpful Viper says Southampton 5-0, South Shields 5-0. It's always the Southerners. But yeah, I know it was only South Shields, but you know, a win's a win. It's still nice to see us get a win, isn't it, under our belt, no matter who it is. You're not a Sunderland fan if you don't really enjoy a win of any shape or form, really. So my other post I did, because I did another live stream of Gateshead. Now, of course, we're all aware, different squad, but it was a completely different team as well. And quite a lot of, well, it wasn't the best matches, to be quite honest with you. So it was finished, it did, of course, Gateshead 2, Sunderland 1. And the Ferret says, he says, please can we sign some quality proven footballers sometime soon? No more free transfers. Spend some money for God's sake. Jeff Wilkie says, shocking, absolutely shocking. We need a good striker. Once again, there's the striker coming up again about we need a new striker. Come on the heat, says Costi. Any comments welcome. It's not as if it's offensive. So Thane says, all I'm going to say about this game is that 09 cannot be captain and cannot play at centre back anymore. And Job offers nothing unless you play him up front, which is obviously I don't want him playing up front because we need a striker. But the lad offers nothing in midfield going forward with Sunderland after watching both of these games. I think we're just missing a top quality striker, another left back, just in case, and potentially a quality centre back to partner Bollard. And I replied, I says, I'm still waiting for Job to spark into life, as well as his brother when he was in the bloody Euros, to be quite honest with you. And I do think there is a spark of some quality with Job, but just want to see it more often. I think Davey is also says, what have we been saying? Sunderland need quality. We played almost a full team against Gateshead yesterday. It was a friendly, but Sunderland still got beat. We still need quality up front. We've got Jim Nesbitt. Jim Nesbitt, how you doing, mate? It says, Dan Neil makes a big difference to our midfield. We are much weaker if he's not playing. Yeah, there's been a hell of a lot of games where Dan Neil has really made a difference in the team. He's Sunderland through and through. He's keen. He's a very hard-working lad, and there's not many games he underperforms. So absolutely, Dan Neil does make a huge difference there. And then after the match, I put a post up saying, "Is losing to Gateshead a worry?" And Peter Harvey says, "We cannot lose to a non-league team. Where is the passion?" He says, "We need to buy an experienced striker." There's the word striker again. Sunderland fans need to see positivity. Never a dull moment with Sunderland AFC. Fact. The Hurler Hunter says, not a problem at this moment. Let's see after the next game, which of course is Nottingham Forest. Maureen Johnson says, not worried about losing to Gateshead. However, not usual to play 2 full games in one afternoon. It's about trying to find form and fitness. RTB Joe says, as much as we are going to win the league after the South Shields game, who knows? Yorkshire Mackham, probably, he says, just a blip. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Thean says, the result is not the issue, he says, it's the performance. And the performance was pretty drab. I was bored out of my skull. He says, look at the difference in performance from South Shields team to the Gateshead team. The South Shields team played really good, fast-flowing football and pressed them really well and forced them into mistakes. Then you look at Gateshead game and those players looked like they never played together before, and the balance in the defence and midfield was all over the place. So it was just like headless chickens. Hello, Judith Wright. Was Benetti playing? I think he was. If anybody in the chat can come up with that one. Was Benetti playing? I'm sure I heard his name mentioned a few times. Even though I had the commentary on and was watching it, I was that busy replying to folks. D Hall says about Sunderland losing to Gateshead, was it a worry? He says, not worried at this point though. Maybe slightly embarrassing that the more senior squad struggled to get their heads around Regis's tactics after the younger squad performed well at Shields. After the game, Clark was asked whether he will be able to thrive under Lee Bree's tactics. Clark says, it will help me thrive, but I also think it should help the whole team thrive once we've got complete clarity and understands of what he wants and when he wants and who's doing what, etc. Obviously, it's been difficult so far and it didn't quite come off for us today, but once we get that clarity, we will be thriving. Yes, you absolutely class player, Judith. Absolutely agree with you there. Dave Patterson says, never took much notice of a friendly, really. Although it's always nice to win them, of course it is. The team that starts is never the side that you would start with in the championship, is it? Thinks it's more about looking at new players and getting match fit. Yeah, that's right, Davey. You've just seen it now. Yeah, he plays for Gateshead. He seemed to get quite a lot of the ball. His name was mentioned a lot, wasn't it? I thought he was all right for us, to be quite honest with you. He just didn't get a look in, did he? How you doing, Kevin Taylor? How are you doing? I'm just doing a new sort of podcast here, just getting the fans involved and what people are saying about the club, getting feedback what the Sunderland supporters are saying about Sunderland. Not you welcome, Judith. I try to reply to everyone. You guys are more important than me. You guys matter more than what I do. Just Ray says we still 2 quality proven strikers at least. Absolutely. This is, I put a post up saying, is it where you were lost against Gateshead? Colin Malcolm says this is a mad rush to judgment. The Knockers will be delighted with this opportunity. If I had only played the first game Saturday, winning 5-0, he says some would have us in the Premier League before the season begins. The time to access this team is after about 6 games in the league. They will be able to make a proper judgment. Stud says, for me, I think it's a bit of a worry considering some of the players that we had on the pitch. It looked pretty woeful to me, and I'm only saying what I've seen. It did look woeful. It was a terrible game. The Ferret says, Labrie, another yes man. Speakman still running the show. Steve Taylor he said he spoke to Speakman before the game against South Shields. He says, where's our new striker? His response was, I wish I had £1 for every time I've been asked that. What's he got to do so people stop asking him the same question time and time again? Simply get one. User says, I don't know if it's Davey. He says, it doesn't matter how you dress it up. A full team shouldn't be getting beat off Gateshead. We still need quality, and sooner the better. Get them used to our new patterns of play. SAFC Com says, friendly games are friendly games. Give it 5 games into the new season and we see a better team. So somebody else has said, give it 5 games into the season. Ash Schilt says, on for a relegation scrap. So he thinks we're in for a relegation scrap this season by looking at that Gateshead performance. Michael Weasley says, sign the Gateshead striker. And user says, yes, it is a worry. Let's read some more comments on the chatty box. Dougie Stewart will be in your neck of the woods, Cabbie, in 2 weeks. Time for Kendall calling. I've never been to it, but it is quite big. Let's hope the weather's good. Question, do you get many trips to the festival in your Cabba? No. Carlisle's still quite away from Kendall. I've nothing to do with it really. And besides, I only work Monday to Friday, 8 till 6. So whatever's going on in the festival, I usually don't bother with that. Friendlies mean nout, says Kevin Taylor. I mean, I'm 50-50 on that. I mean, they kind of don't. But it still affects your confidence in the team when you see them playing absolutely awful. Or when you see them feel good. When you see them play really, really good. So I'm sort of 50-50 on it. A member of the channel, Ken Walton. How you doing, mate? Welcome. I hope you're alright on this muggy Thursday evening, wherever you may be. So on this next latest post, thanks for the more likes, folks. Thank you. I put a post up a few days ago saying Sunderland to sign a prolific striker, Alexandre Mendy. And Bong says, French second division is not on my radar, so I can't comment on him. Upon further review of Mendy's highlights here on YouTube, the one thing that does stand out is that he can score and pass with both feet. Looks strong, but maybe past it, Cabbie. I will reserve judgment on this one. From what I've seen, says I don't use Twitter. From what I've seen, he seems to be the perfect signing. The style of football he plays fits in with Labrie's style, with fast breaks, running from deep. He's also a unit who can use head, his experience, good scoring record, and his French. Ticks all the boxes. Rosie Law says Sunderland AFC will conclude their pre-season preparations against Olympique Marseille on Saturday, the 3rd of August. Kick-off at 3 p.m. The fixture will commemorate the 15-year anniversary of the passing of Krill Louis-Dreyfus' father, Robert Louis-Dreyfus, who was the French Giants' majority shareholder from 1996. Taking place at a neutral venue, Bradford City's Valley Parade, the friendly matchup will be the Black Cats' final outing ahead of 2024-25 Sky Bet Championship season. Thanks for that, Rosie. Just Ray says, could be a good signing as he has experience to pass on to the youngsters. Yeah, kind of go around with experience for the youngsters, can we? Kevin Cullen says, heard it all before. We'll come to FA. I think I know what FA means. Something all, isn't it? Michael Tirena says, we shall see some good centre-backs in the Championship. Might know it would be Speakman pound shop signing. And once again, our Thane, the channel says, it looks like we're going to finally sort out the striker situation with someone who's experienced and has a decent record. He says, yes, it's a little gamble in terms of he's yet to play in the Championship, but hopefully his experience will help him adjust quickly. However, the Ballard injury news and interest in him has put me in a bit of a downer, and the interest in Hume and Ekwar in the last hour or so. I've also said this lot will be really put to the test when they start selling more key players, because I want to see what happens with that money. Obviously, I don't want anyone to go, but eventually we do need to sell, reinvest, because that's the model and way apparently. And if we're not willing to spend from our own pocket, then how do you buy better quality players? We need this striker, potentially another as a backup, because our strike force just isn't good enough, says Thane. We need 2 centre-backs because I'm not confident we're O'Nien, Alesi, Higeldi, Triantis, Sealt and Anderson as your centre-back. So he's not confident with them at all. Options while Ballard's out. Even if Ballard was fit, I still feel like we need better quality and experience alongside him. But now I think we need to, but a replacement is an absolute must before the season starts, which ain't far away. For me, we need another left back because our full backs are made of glass. I think our full backs are made of glass. God knows what this squad will look like come Cardiff and at the end of the window. It's either going to be surprise people in a good way or really going to be in a bad way. We've got nothing. Sucked in by Speakman again. And that was the comments on when I put Sunderland to sign a prolific striker, Alexandra Mendry. Back to the comments on the chat. Davey says, Cabby, this review show is spot on, nice and informative, and keeps all the latest news out to the fans. Well done, Cabby, and make it a weekly thing during the season. Absolutely, thank you, Davey. And don't forget, me and Davey do our show on Monday night. This is a new thing I'm starting, where it's the MACKEM review show, where it's a catch-up of what the fans have been saying and any news on the night I'm doing it, what's been going on. And I look back over the last few days, what's happening, any news, players in, players out. And like I say, just reading back all the comments, what the Sunderland fans are saying, because it's us that matters, us fans. Dougie Stewart says, Judith Wright says, give the coach a chance, not being in charge long. Of course he's not, absolutely. Tony Huntington, Lebris pick of strikers is not good, so hope he didn't pick him. Isn't the French League 2 is about the standard of our League 2 not that good? Dougie says, don't want to see Hume go for any money. Jean Nesbitt says, every manager since promotion has played O'Nien at centre-back. So he can't be too crap. Yeah, I mean, I can see where you're coming from on that as well. Right, on to another post as well. I said something along the lines of Pierre Ekwar. Rumours about that he could be leaving Sunderland, he could be out the door. So back to our Thane as well. He says, obviously we don't want to lose anyone, but the two players that I think we can definitely cope without is Job and Ekwa. So Thane thinks we could cope quite perfectly without Job and Pierre Ekwa. He says, I do like Ekwa, don't get me wrong, because there is a player in there, but he's very inconsistent. And after the signing of Brown, I think we can definitely cope without him. If we were to get a decent fee for him, then the money should be used on a transfer fee and wages for a top centre-back, as well as this Alexander Mendy. Davey says, have you heard the latest rumour? Ballard heading for talks with, wait for it, Will Still's new club. How ironic that would be. Yeah, absolutely, wouldn't it? Oh, dear me. Stephen Martin says, but what if the new manager gets the best out of Pierre Ekwa? Well, that time will tell. Will also come into it, won't it? He did show brilliance, Pierre Ekwa, but like I say, for the majority of last season, he did sort of go missing, didn't he? Jason Black says, like everything else, it depends on what we get for him and whom replaces him. As for keeping players who need replacing as a person, I like 09, but is he really good enough to play centre half? He's defensively poor and should be a squad player. However, seems to be undroppable. And it's right though. He just seems to be in the squad week in, week out, doesn't he, 09? It's because his enthusiasm. He loves the club. And that can go a long way. Not many players really do play with the heart on the sleeve. And Luke 09 without a doubt does. Even though he's a bit of a joker at times, but he's loved by the fans, isn't he? Kenneth Brown says, does our new manager, Bogdan Regis, not have a say on this matter? I think we'll never know. I don't use Twitter. Says, I would like Ekwa to stay. He likes Pierre Ekwa. Jason Black says, he's replaceable, but there's plenty more you can say that about. But unfortunately, he says, clubs are only interested in our better players like Hume, Ballard, Serkin, Neil, Clark and Rigg. The rest I would not be too concerned about if they moved on. Susan Prescott says, he might as well go. No good for us, says Susan Prescott. So, pretty sort of mixed reviews about PR Ekwa there. Let's catch up some more on the chat here. Where are we? Judith Wright says, Bennett's could play in Clark's place if he ever goes. What do you think on that? Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all. Like I say, he wasn't given a chance with Sunderland at all, was he? God, he's played. Jim Nesbitt says, Job scored 7 goals last season. We do need him. Well, like I said, Job, he's shown brilliance. He has shown sparks. But yet again, it could be our setup. That's wrong. What we're not getting the best out of Job Bellingham. Kevin Taylor says, just hope the manager has clout to sort the dead wood out. And I just hope that, to be honest with you, he has more of a say and Speakman keeps his snout out, to be quite honest with you. This is an interesting post as well. This is regarding to when Chris Rigg signed a 3-year contract with us just a while back. And Susan says for Chris Rigg, great news for us for Chris Rigg's new contract. Tony Hunton says, great news because the player with the greatest potential. And that too, I think, as well. Mark Inela says, yeah, of course, that's great news about Chris Rigg staying. CKSCFC, he says, I know Chris personally, and he's absolutely buzzing about it. And it's been verbally agreed for a few months now that he's just waiting to see what had gone on with the manager. And I think that's why a lot of deals weren't signed, because we didn't have a coach in place. I think Davey says the new coach must have had or made a positive impression already. What a difference a week has made to the mood of the fans regarding getting the coach. Richard Parker says we need an experienced defensive mid-central defence in case Ballard gets injured and a centre forward. And I've said this time and time again, it's like we really do need to sort our depth out for next season. And this has gone on for seasons and seasons in the past as well. The fact like our depth has been our weakness, because when we get injuries, and we do get a lot, we're knackered basically. We'll just capitulate. We're no good. D Hall says for Chris Rigg signing 3 years, it's great news if he signs it. Well, he has. It should keep the vultures away for 12 months at least. And a lot of people say contracts don't mean anything these days. The vultures will get what they get. And Thane says about Chris Rigg, he says, don't get me wrong, this is good news because he's a very talented lad and he'll only get better with age. He says, however, I hope this isn't a sign of these doing their best to keep the core of the current squad and hardly do anything to improve. He says, because that's a waste of time. Yes, I want some of these players to stay, but we've got to add to the squad as well. I think these need to start getting a move on, because even though it's early in the window, a lot of teams are already making moves. Look at Sheffield Wednesday, they've already signed 4 or 5. But there again, this lot will take forever, like they usually do. And in the end, they'll just end up with more cheap youngsters. Of course, I hope I'm wrong, says Thane, but I'm getting a bit worried when the backroom staff news has gone quiet. And it's all quiet on the transfer front. I want players in for pre-season, not on deadline day, or when they need time to settle in. Get them in now and give them time to adjust. Maureen Johnson says, great news for Chris Rigg. Yes, Michael says, big headlines, Chris Rigg signs new contract. It was. And Dale Boy says, it means absolutely nothing if somebody wants him. Jeff Wilkins says, but what is so special about Chris Rigg? I just think he's got this spark. I just think there's something there. You know, when you're just in a feeling, your gut feeling just knows there's something there. And I think a lot of fans say that as well. Louise Brown says, well, he won't know what this manager is like yet. He might be as bad as Bale. He can't be as bad as Bale, Regis LeBrie, can he? Surely not. So that's me basically caught up on the YouTube channel and stuff for the all the fans' response. Just saying there as well, tickets for Sunderland AFC pre-season meeting with Olympique de Marseille, which will be hosted at the University of Bradford Stadium, it says, are now on sale. So there we are, that's more news coming up. So there we are, that just about sort of wraps it up. Let's catch up on some more chat here. Jim Nesbitt says, 09 has the 4th highest sofa score rating in the team for season 2023-24. And he says Ballard is 5th. Judith Wright says, CABBIE a bit slow for me, and PR looks like he can't be bothered. And a few people have said that. He's like shrugging around on his shoulders. But I think we really need to find out what it's going to be like with this new manager, because he might get the best out of him. I mean, let's be honest, when Tony Mowbray went last season, I think a lot of players' heads went down. A lot of fans' heads went down because it was a mess. It was just a mess, appointing Dodds and then Bale and then back to Dodds again. This is when you wonder the players are walking around going, ugh. But it's still, they shouldn't be. They're getting paid and they should be playing the best for the shirt and playing the best for the fans, no matter what's going on. The fans still turn up the stadium, out, no matter what's going on through thick and thin. So I think really the players should be, no matter what's going on. Judith Wright says, Job is a bit slow for me and PR looks like he can't be bothered. And I think he says, but is Chris, are you going on about Chris Rigg? He's a bit young. Yeah, but I think he's only going to sort of come good, isn't he? So there we go. That just about wraps up this show. This is a new weekly thing I'll be doing, the MACKEM review show. Literally just catching up on all the comments, what's been going on, because I cannot read them out, obviously, when I'm driving my taxi and stuff. So I'll let a few posts, I'll build up, and I'll read everybody's comments. It's just basically to give you lot the feel, what people are saying, if they're positive, how the club's going, and of course, if there's any news on the day I'm doing this podcast, I will break it to you as well. So I will be probably doing this show every Thursday for an hour, going through, catching up on what people's been saying. And don't forget, tomorrow at 6 o'clock, I'll be doing a live watch along with live match commentary of Nottingham Forest against Sunderland at 6 o'clock kick-off tomorrow. So I will say thanks for tuning in, you two as well. So thanks to it says thanks for helping me with my FWS football withdrawal symptom. You're welcome, Jim. Thank you, Judith, for coming in. Thank you for Kevin Taylor. Cheers, Davey, for tuning in. Dougie Stewart, thank you. Tony Huntington, thank you. I'm a member. Ken Walton. Kevin Ashcroft, thanks for popping in. The Bristolian MACKEM also. So anybody else I've missed out? Yeah, Dougie, look forward to that tomorrow. Yeah, it'd be just nice to see the lads playing again. So I will say good night for now, and we'll see you next Thursday on the MACKEM review show. Take care.